In bags 2 through 5, we're going to piece each bag separately, and we're going to do the entire bag at the same time. Before you start piecing your B and A units, your flying geese units, I suggest that, especially if you're new to paper piecing or new to Quiltworks patterns, you go ahead and mark the dashed lines on the back of the unit. So you may not have to do all of them. I'm just doing the first 2 to show you how the lines are used, but I'll show you as we go along how these markings are used, and then you can decide what you wish to do. Also, for the flying geese, the fold template you use, you can barely see this one, but this is about 6 inches by 2 inches. And you might find it easier to use on these because they're such small little units that we don't really need the big 13 or 12 inch one, and it sometimes gets in the way. So if you have some more template plastic or even a piece of cardboard, cut it about 6 inches by 2 inches, and I think it'll be easier for you to handle. Also, you'll need your glue stick, and remember we only glue section 1, and you'll need your add a quarter ruler and your rotary cutter. So let's get started. As we piece these or get these ready for piecing, we're going to stack them on a ruler. And this is a 12 inch ruler by 6 inches, or you can use a longer one if you like, and it's going to be on the side, and I'll show you how we use that in just a minute as we go along. So in your bag, this happens to be unit B, and it's my bag 5. So it doesn't matter which one you start with, they're all going to be pieced the same way. I've divided my fabric sections with their templates into the 3 piles. This one is template B2, and if you're doing the A unit, this would be template A2. This is the template G, which is the flying geese unit, or the flying geese section, and this is template B1, which would be A1 if you were doing the A unit. So I've just got them separated like this, and I'll put these up here. What we're going to do when we get to each section, like the first one is section 1, we're going to take 3 from this stack, 3 of the clipped together units, or sections from the stack. And we'll take the paper clips off and take the papers off. We won't need the papers, and we're going to stack these like this, ready to be pieced. And we're going to do section 1 first. This paper has been marked, the dashed lines have been marked on the back side of the paper, and this will tell us where the fabric needs to go. We're going to take the section 1 fabric sections and fan them out a little bit so they're easier to grab, and then to put them down here. And then we'll take a piece of fabric with the wrong side up for section 1. We take our glue stick, and in this section you'll see it has a triangle. So we're going to place the glue right in the middle of the triangle and leave the glue on there and pick it up, so you don't have to pick up one piece of paper at a time. So you'll see that this is the triangle shape and this is the triangle shape here. So we'll match these 2. You place them just like that. And if you want to check, you put your finger on this line over here, and you check, and there's plenty of fabric underneath. And put your finger on line 2 over here, and you see there's plenty of fabric underneath there. So you know you've got that set straight. So then take the next one and put it just on top of the first one. Put your glue in this section, pick it up, and then place it the same way. Then continue doing that, gluing, stacking, stacking, gluing. Do one more. Stack, glue. And then continue doing this for the entire stack of papers. I'll finish these and come back. Now that we've placed all of the section 1 fabric, we've glued it all to the section 1 of the unit foundation paper. Now we're going to look at line 1, and we see line 1 is here, and I face it so I can read it, and we're going to work with section 2, which is here, and it says template B1. So we're going to use template B1 next, those pieces next. This is my template B1 over here. I'm going to take 3 of these, take the paper clips off, and stack them all together. And then this is the sew side here. This straight long side is the sew side. We want to face the sew side away from us. And we're also going to fan these out like this so they're easier to grab a piece. We're going to fan these out and leave them right here so it's easier to grab the top one. It's supposed to be easier, but sometimes it's not with these little pieces. They're so tiny. And you can toss the papers. You're done with those papers for now. Then we're going to take these off to the side over here and take the first one off the stack. So I've placed line 1 where I can read it, and I take my fold template, place it on line 1, fold it, and place the add a quarter ruler and trim. Looks like that one has already been trimmed. Take the fold template out. Now I want to show you, if we look at this next piece of fabric that's coming up, and we place it over here, the sew side is placed horizontal, and this is the edge we just trimmed. It's placed horizontal as well. I don't know what happened over there, but this is the edge we're looking at. So if you look at the shape of this is a triangle, and here's our little triangle shape here. This is the outside trim line here. So here is roughly our triangle, which matches this shape. If we lay it down here side by side and they're parallel to each other, you see that's the shape that goes in here. So next we take this piece of fabric, or this unit, and we place the cut edge, the trimmed edge, with the sew side edge. And if we look here, here is where we need to cover on this side. So we see that this is the fabric under here, so there's plenty of fabric there. If we look on this side, we see here's the fabric coming this way. We know there's plenty of fabric covering that section. So this will be fine. And we'll take this, let me slide this ruler over here, and the ruler is off to the side, so you pick this up with 2 fingers and 2 thumbs and lay it on the ruler like this. We're going to stack the rest of them on this ruler. So I'll move this off to the side, and we'll do a few more. Line 1 where you can read it, fold on line 1, trim, and then remove the template. And I placed this down before, I should have. So you can see the value here in marking the lines in the back, because it tells you exactly what you need to cover and where this needs to be placed. So we place it just like that. Check the fabric underneath. I'm not sure this will cover, so I'm going to move it over just slightly to the left. And we see that there's plenty of fabric under there. And then we take it and put it on our ruler. And here's what the ruler looks like with the second one. So we're going to do this all the way down. Here are all of the pieces, all of the units ready to be stitched on line 1. And this 12-inch ruler didn't quite hold everything. I had to double stack some. So you might want to use a longer ruler if you have it, or just double stack yours. Let me show you what we'll do next. When you take this to the machine, you put this on the side of your machine. And you'll take the top one with your 2 fingers and 2 thumbs like this and place it down. Place it down on your machine and hold this in place. Flip up the paper as you're holding it, and then you'll stitch on line 1. You will stitch on the solid line, and it doesn't matter if you start from this end or this end. You stitch just outside the line, stitch directly on the line, and then stitch a few stitches off of the line. And do that for all of these. And then when you're finished, you'll press these. But we'll show that in a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and piece all of these on line 1 and then come back. Here we have section 1 and section 2 sewn together on line 3, and we've pressed, and just like the log cabin blocks, you press toward the section, the fabric section you just added. So here we press toward section 2. If you're not sure if you have your fabric covering, sometimes these odd shaped pieces are hard to tell. If you hold it up to the light, I can't show you here, but if you take this and hold it up to the light so you're looking at the printed side of the paper, and you should be able to see from the back that the fabric behind here has covered everything. So as long as it covers within all of these lines, you'll be fine. You'll have plenty. It's a good idea to check each time just to make sure you do have enough fabric.